Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Esports Talk. I hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. And today we're going to be talking about League of Legends Worlds because for LCS fans, things aren't looking too great. I'm sure a lot of us know by now that North America tends to have a lot of struggles on the international stage, and unfortunately, this year it's not much different. I'm sure if you guys have been keeping up with Worlds, you're probably all too familiar with it, but this time it's the North American teams under fire for being severely overpaid given their international performance. So on Monday, FlyQuest was the first North American team to pick up a win at Worlds. They went against Unicorns of Love, who actually almost didn't make it to Worlds this year, and along with FlyQuest, it was TSM and Team Liquid who came to Worlds as well, with TSM, at the time of me recording this, going 0-3 so far against Fnatic, Gen.G, and LGD. And then there's Liquid getting 2 losses against Machi and Suning, but picking up a win against G2. No matter how strong the LCS was looking earlier in the year though, and even in Worlds, with Liquid picking up NA's second win against G2, NA are still having a lot of trouble, and some people are calling for changes within NA and the LCS and their orgs in order to get a better international performance from their players and just more out of their players in general. This time it's Fion calling out NA orgs for that reason. He says all 10 North American orgs need to sit down and reassess the LCS. $400,000 average player salary, and this is the quality of the league at Worlds in front of millions. No positives, no silver linings. And previously, Jake did make a video covering LCS player salaries, where in that video he discussed, yes, the average LCS player salary is about $400,000 according to the Player Association. However, there are outliers such as Huni and Impact who had some very high buyout prices, so not every person in the LCS is making that much money. However, it's probably still safe to assume that LCS teams are making a ton of money, especially teams like TSM, FlyQuest, and Liquid, who did all go to Worlds this year and are all pretty well funded, and they've got people like Wild Turtle, Doublelift, and Bjergsen, who are very expensive players as well. So you could still very much make the argument that LCS players are getting paid way too much. And then it was LS joining in on the conversation too, who's definitely had his fair share of spicy takes on the LCS before, with him saying the salaries are too high relative to everything that comes from them. Orgs need proper people to execute litmus tests and develop proper structure and practice, among other things. Import slots also need to be utilized properly. Dropping an import slot on wildcard would probably help a ton too. And then saying the amount of things plaguing NA from the foundation up is alarming. Horror stories that exist behind the scenes, like players refusing to scrim Academy because it'll make the Academy players better and risk their job security, have to go. Lack of care about so much, legit insanity. But it was Cloud9 Diamond commenting on this, saying, speaking from experience, this excludes Cloud9 Academy. Our main roster scrimmed us more than any other team, and we had 4 to 5 days in a row of scrims versus our main team, where we won only 1 game and split 1, but it leveled us up for our finals and ultimately greatly helped us win versus EGA, so we at least knew it isn't Cloud9 that's been dodging scrimming with Academy teams. So LS says that some LCS players are afraid to scrim their Academy teams because it'll be giving those Academy teams practice, and for example, what if, those Academy teams just end up getting better than the LCS teams? That would make them look really bad, obviously, and it would make you think, hey, why aren't these, Academy players just replacing the main roster, and, why aren't they playing at Worlds right now? Of course, if it's, concerning one of the 3 teams, or one of the 3 American teams that we do have at Worlds right now. But obviously, it's just not a good look at all to think that, theoretically, we could have some potentially better players on the international stage right now, but because these LCS players do not want to lose their positions and are really comfortable with their salaries, they won't even bother scrimming their Academy teams. So that's just only one of the reasons why it can be really bad to pay your players too much. And another reason why it can be bad to pay your players too much, especially those guys who are making like 6-figure salaries, is because it gives those players who are getting paid a crap ton less of a reason to try their hardest against other teams and in tournaments and whatnot. Because if I'm an LCS player and I'm making, 100K or 200K, and like we just discussed, not every LCS player is going to be making that much money. But I would just take a lot of security in knowing, like, hey, even if I don't do very well this game, or, we don't win this tournament, I still have a $150,000 salary, and either way, I'm going to be living comfortably and lavishly, and just, maybe I can even skip practice today because I already got plenty of money and I don't really care to go to practice. I'm getting sick of it. But basically, you need to just motivate your team not with, you know, a crappy salary and just be like, you know, you get 30 grand a year, but of course you get, you know, most of your winnings. Give them a decent salary still, give them a reason to play because they're still doing a ton of hard work, but it should definitely be more determined just by their actual performance against other teams and, you know, just how well they do in tournaments and whatnot. So, because otherwise, you know, you end up with complacent people and you get situations like what LS mentioned. And, you know, we saw a similar discussion a couple weeks ago in a video uploaded by Jake where it was Sponge calling out CSGO pros for not giving enough back to their orgs in terms of things like content creation and, you know, building your own personal brand, because as you build your own personal brand, that actually leads to more traffic for your org, and as your org gains more attention, that leads more traffic to you. It's kind of a two-way street. But yeah, of course, you know, CS pros do get paid a crap ton as well, but you could make the argument that LCS pros do not give enough back to their orgs given how much they make, you know, because some of them are kind of just riding those salaries out and not really giving much back to their employers. But, you know, it has been a wild ride at Worlds so far, and just because LCS players probably get paid too much doesn't mean that they are not trying their hardest at Worlds this year. And like Theon said, maybe these NA orgs and these NA teams need to just take a step back and, you know, rethink and redo some things and come into these tournaments with a different mindset, because year after year we have struggled internationally, and I want to assume that I'm not the only one that would like to see some changes here. So, of course, let me know what you guys think about all this below. Who are you guys rooting for? All that good stuff. I would love to get a little conversation going about Worlds. But, yeah, we'll be here to, of course, update you guys on Worlds and whatever else is going on. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys very soon in the next ones. Take it easy. Bye-bye.